So do you believe that there are spirits that are negative or have negative intentions that, when you hear about people saying, I've seen a spirit, it's haunting me, and then you see these movies about negative spirits and houses where people move in. Is there such a thing, or are spirits usually good or trapped here? What are spirits?
It's a combination. Yes, I believe in all of that. I believe in malevolent spirits. I believe in poltergeists that, can objects physically move.
That
I
was my
believe,
favorite movie when I was a child, by the way. Do you
my
remember that
God,
movie,
yeah,
Poltergeist? Oh,
obsessed.
I've seen it 100 times.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Don't look at the
And it's
light.
reads well, it still kind of gets you chilly on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
And by the way, sorry, I digress too. Most of the cast members are dead, which I think is crazy.
oh, I know. And the same could be said for The Omen.
Mm, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yes.
Yes,
Oh,
that
I
was a
mean,
scary one.
that was bloody creepy.
Yeah.
Yes. The
All right.
Exorcist. The Exorcist too.
I've never seen The Exorcist.
Oh, I saw it when I was really young. That did put the fear of a god inside of me.
I have a paralyzing fear of throwing up. And I always heard that
Oh
there
my
was that one
God.
scene where she throws up, so I've never seen it.
Oh my God. Can I show you something really quick?
Sure. Is it somebody throwing up though?
No, hold up.
Okay. This is so fun. Oh my God.
Exorcist. And
With the
her,
throw up coming out of the mouth.
yeah, as you can see, she's a little green here, and yes, it's dribbling. But I don't know if I have batteries in her, but let me just see something. Hold on. She
Oh, the head spins.
sorry.
I love it. Oh my God. And the lights, the eyes are going. Is she going to start spouting vomit?
No, I wish she did. That would have been a wonderful feature.
That would be
But yeah,
amazing.
so no, but I definitely 100% believe in energies, positive and negative, or
Right.
otherwise. Like I when we moved into this building, um, for the longest time, for probably about a year, I would see in my peripheral something walk by me. And I remember one day thinking, okay, well, this is not a new building. It's been renovated. It used to be a hospital. And I'm like, please don't let it be an insane asylum. But it was actually a heart hospital. But
Oh,
obviously people died here. They had a mortuary downstairs. So when we moved in, we people that worked here would tell us that there was a certain floor that was definitely haunted. And we would go, and this was like The Shining. I'm not joking. My children, the three of them, and myself, and this other young lady that used to work here, we would go up to this floor. We would go down the hallway, and you literally, I'm not joking, you would feel like you walked into a freezer. It was just, you could feel like the hairs on your back of your neck. It's not a joke. But I've seen a little boy in here before, quite a few times, and my daughter's heard people. Yeah, so is my son.
wow.
Son has run into my room.
I'm just curious now, personally, just because I don't, I'm not somebody who, for whatever reason, believes in spirits. So for me, I was engaged to somebody who was killed, and my father died when I was very young. And people are always like, oh, you should talk to them and they'll hear you. Do you believe in that stuff?
So, yeah, I definitely do. When my grandfather passed, who I think he literally was the only man that I've ever had respect for, um, I was devastated. So when I knew he would, okay, again, same situation. So I saw him, he was leaving to go to South Africa. He was a big gambler, a successful one, and he would go to South Africa every year and he would bet on the horses out there. And he, I was with him and I asked him, please don't leave me. I feel like something bad is going to happen. And he said, oh, he'll be fine. He'll be fine. And I, I felt it. Like I felt this dread inside of me. And it's something that you can taste. For me, whenever I feel that feeling, it's such a visual, ex just energy. But I could taste it as well. And he did. He left and he was in South Africa and I was doing something in my apartment. I don't remember what it was, but I suddenly just sort of had this knowing that he died. And my mum called me and told me, I think it was a day later because we weren't notified right away, but
Hmm.
he was sitting at a table with a bunch of, ironically, heart surgeons, and he had a massive heart attack. And that, I mean, he was just gone. There was nothing. And that night, I I couldn't feel him, and I was really upset because this is something that's familiar with me.
Hmm.
I was really mad and I wanted to feel him and I couldn't feel him. And then I started to talk and I just kept asking him to please make himself known to me because I couldn't feel his energy. So I just wanted to maybe see signs of him. And I started to be aware of like little signs or even like numbers that would be his favorite number. I started to see that. And then I would see, um, he loved jacaranda trees. And I would see, like, I would be driving somewhere and I would see a jacaranda tree. But all of those and I know for a fact, were signs that he was with me. And even to this day, he died years and years ago. Even to this day, and I have a photograph of him where I will light a candle and I'll start talking to him and I speak out loud because, and even with spell work, you need to hear yourself. It's not just an internal thing. I talk to him, and if I'm in a predicament or whatnot, I will ask for advice or I'll ask him to sort of guide me. And I definitely know and I definitely feel a presence. And it's not always so obvious either. I mean, we were talking about, spirits and entities and energies. They can definitely make you very aware that they're there, but then you have the very subtle ones. And that's why you have to always be open and accessible to allow yourself to be connected, to receive messages, to receive signs. You have to start paying attention because most of us, we disconnect or we sleepwalk through life.
Sure.
But if you start making yourself aware that you want to see the beauty around you or you want to see signs, you will. You literally will.
Mm.
If you're
Are
given them
you
permission.
are you scared of death? Is that something that scares people like
No,
you?
no. Well, before I had children, I was never afraid of death. I don't think up until I had children, I don't think I was scared of anything. Nothing, people didn't frighten me. Certainly not spirits or energies. Bad people, I've met bad people. I have felt them. But they don't frighten me. I just know that you've got to get yourself out of that. You've got to remove yourself from them somehow without setting off their little crazy minds. But sorry, what was the question? I got distracted by the
If
bell.
you were scared of death.
Oh no, so when I always felt like I was immortal when I was a kid. I I I didn't I didn't see, like, I would try and picture the way that I was going to die and I could never see it. And never felt afraid of any of that. But then when I got pregnant with all three of them, that's when I sort of felt mortality. And that's when I felt afraid because I was responsible for a human life. I was responsible to keep them alive, especially when you
Hmm.
newborns. And that terrified me. And I think that sort of allowed me to experience fear on for the first time. But now that they're older and you know, they make their own decisions, they have their own opinions, they know I have taught my children very, very well of signs to look for in people in an environment when you walk in, and to tune in, like listen to your gut. If you have a nagging feeling in your pit of your stomach, that is you being alerted to get out of a situation, even if you can't see it. It's there, it's present, and it's dangerous.
Right.
And now that I know that they're, weaponized with that sort of information, I'm not the I. the idea of dying, I feel like I'm not supposed to yet. I don't believe that I've been put on this. I don't think my time's up yet because I know that I'm supposed to be here to make a difference. And
But do you believe when you die, it's just lights out, or you believe you still go
uh,
on in another
I,
form?
100%, I believe in reincarnation.
You do.
Yes, I
Okay.
do. I recognized my children. I know they've recognized me. I believe that
Yeah.
children choose their parents. With my son Cross, um, I had both my daughters, and I knew that I was supposed to have a boy. And this was like coming towards the end where my marriage was starting to unravel.
Mhm.
And I was like, I have to have my son. I know I'm supposed to have him because before Destiny, I had I think it's called an ectopic pregnancy.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what I had. And that'll bring me to another subject in a minute. Um, but, but so I had to get a D&C. So technically, they go in, they remove the fetus or
Yeah.
whatever. And I'm on the thing, baby. So I had the ectopic pregnancy. I had to go to the hospital, and I knew that that spirit of that baby, and I didn't obviously know what it was my son. And then I got pregnant and I had Destiny, and then I got pregnant again and I had Mystery. And then I was like, my son is waiting for me. Like he is waiting in the wings for me. And then I got pregnant and I knew I was pregnant with a boy. And I knew that it was him waiting there for me. And it was. And actually, my pregnancy with him was so different from having girls because I actually felt like I was vessel, that he was an alien inside of me. Because I remember asking my doctor, does he have a tail? Because I cannot connect with this child of mine, because when I was pregnant, I was always talking to the girls and they would move accordingly. But
Right.
with my son, I couldn't connect. But yes, um, I do believe in the afterlife. I do believe that I know I've lived many lifetimes. I know that my children have, and I know that we have known each other, just not in the same, not always as male and female.
Right. Brilliant. Okay. I mean, I could talk to you forever.